Currently in Space Engineers, there's no easy way in order to capture your ship's input keys and use those to control your ship's functions in a vanilla way. And the stuff that is out there on the workshop involves multiple grids, which can be very buggy. This is a one grid solution in order to be able to detect and control your ship's inputs. Here, I'll be covering the core functionality of how this works. So right here, I have a little setup which will show you which keys I'm currently hitting. Right now, you'll see that when I hit the W key, the LCD panel lights up. When I hit the S key, same thing, the D, A, up, and down keys. And just to show you, my hotbar is completely clear, so I'm not pressing any external keys in order to do this. And I'll also show you the control panel just so you can see that there are no programming blocks. There's also a small grid equivalent that I've set up right here, and it does exactly the same thing as its large grid counterpart. Here, I'll show you how you can use it on your ships. So once you paste it in, you'll see a 3-axis indicator. The blue indicates forward, the red represents left, and the green represents up. Once you paste it in, you can simply delete the red blocks, holding it together, and while keeping the orientation, paste it on your ship. It doesn't matter where they go, so long as they're in the correct orientation that they were in when you pasted it. So relative to the 3-axis indicator provided. The exact same thing applies to large grid. They're also all independent of each other, meaning that you can have only one on the one axis that you want to control. I'll now show you how to program it in order to control your ship's functions. When you go into the control panel, there are a set of timer blocks. They are all labeled in order to indicate their function. In this example, I will look at the up timer block. So when you hit the spacebar or go up in your ship, it will trigger the timer block on up. And then when you let go of space, it will trigger the timer block off up. So in this case, I have timer block on up set up to turn on the light panel up. And then when it is released, when the key is released, it will turn the light panel off, as you can see. The same thing can be applied to all other controls. So how does this thing ultimately work? There's a set of event controller blocks that are looking at the thrust percentage of the thrusters facing in certain directions. And the reason why it's set to only 20% is because ion thrusters have a limit of 20% thrust inside of an atmosphere. Here I have an example of a completely vanilla unscripted gravity drive ship. So when I hit W, it accelerates forward and also decelerates. And then when I hit S, it accelerates backwards and also decelerates. So right here I have a little fighter, which is available on my Steam Workshop page. And when I hit W, everything works like normal, it just goes forward. But then when I hit the up key, the thruster shoots downwards and then thrusts me up. This is the atmospheric example of why we need to set the thrust limit to 20%, because inside of an atmosphere, if it was set to detect 100% of the thrust output of the ion thruster, it would never reach that 100% and then your ship would drop to the ground like a rock. In the description of this video, I'll include the Steam Workshop links of both the small grid and large grid version of the ship input detector.